it's also with like children, and it's also with like and they also have their own version of the Upside Down. But here's the thing, that manga was written in like the 60s.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so it's like I don't know, Duffer Brothers. I don't know.
I mean, who knows, right? It could have been just I mean, you know, like everything like isn't actually original, you know, like something's always adapted from something, right? But
yeah, probably, but I don't know. There was
I mean,
like too much.
Star Wars is adapted from what is it? Hidden Fortress.
I don't know what the fuck that is, but
it's an old school samurai movie, like hell a long time ago.
Yeah, you can see the influence from like samurai stuff in Star Wars, like
I mean, watch the movie, dude. You'll like the two characters are like the main characters are R2-D2 and freaking C3PO. You're not a big Star Wars fan, anyway.
So I know the Mandalorian is based off of Lone Wolf and Cub.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I was telling
Japanese,
somebody
man.
that
Japanese are tight, dude.
Because I was watching the Mandalorian and
and
I was like, this reminds me of Lone Wolf and Cub.
Yeah.
Because he has like, he was the bounty hunter with the baby,
right?
And then he's like, and I'm like, and then like I kind of kept thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then I went through this rabbit hole, and it turned out that like it was because there were a bunch of people who did fan art of Mandalorian to resemble like Lone Wolf and Cub, and I was like, okay, cool. So I'm not the only person that thinks that.
Yeah. We're live with Renee's in the chat. He's the only one in the chat right now. Kind of on a whim show today, but I want to get back to this Pokemon stuff.
Yes.
You know, I'm not gonna put up the article, but some kid was like shot because he was shoplifting.
Somebody sent me that.
Yeah, he's shoplifting Pokemon cards or something. Like,
was it 151?
What's that?
Was it 151?
I'm not sure. I just kind of was reading it as we were kind of starting here, but like, dude, Pokemon cards are not that tight. Like, it's just, you know, don't risk it. Don't risk it.
Listen, do what you want, but your life may be on the line for something as simple as Pokemon cards.
I know. It's not worth stealing anything nowadays, man. People are unhinged.
Well, if you live in New York City, you're safe.
You live in New York City, you're safe.
Yeah. Shoplift. Like, some of those guards aren't even allowed to touch you. So
yeah.
I mean, but if you're,
it's crazy because, like, you know, GameStop's a corporation. You know, so I'm shocked that someone had a piece on him and shot him. But
where was it?
Somewhere in Florida. I'm not sure exactly where in Florida.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Florida man shoots kid for shoplifting Pokemon cards.
What up, Edwin Aguilar in the house? If we get enough people in the chat today, I'll do a little giveaway at the end. But yeah, just want to kind of get back into some anime Pokemon stuff this week to end your week, y'all. Fedora was telling me, you know, Midtown was all right today. He read some pretty cool books. Yeah. So
yes.
Any good Halloween stuff lately?
I guess the Chrissy Zulo variants. That's on my radar.
Yeah.
DC finally got their own version of Scotty Young.
Who's that?
So they Chrissy Zulo.
Okay.
And they have kind of like a storybook, like Kitty, like Scotty Young type artist. And man, those sold out on the website immediately. So we get a lot of stuff in. Like, we get like a hefty amount of books, especially from DC. I think we get like we get more DC books than we do Marvel. Like, our backstop of DC is just ridiculous. So to put it into perspective, we didn't get many of those Chrissy Zulo variants. We had like a stack of them.
Yeah.
And maybe there were like 4 or 5 in there, from the Batman one, the Nightwing one, you know, so be on the lookout for those. I'm assuming that those variants are very, very low print. So if you guys like Halloween, if you guys like Chrissy Zullo's work, definitely check it out because her stuff's been selling like fire. Obviously, the market, the market's not really reflecting that. Nobody's really trying to like flip it or anything like that. But I think those are definitely going to be something that people are going to want as she starts to make some noise in the industry. Maybe she'll get her own book, she'll do her own art, and then people will try and be hunting for those.
Yeah, I saw. That's pretty dope, man. Yeah, I've heard of her before. I haven't really looked into buying any of her stuff yet, but I'll definitely take.
I mean, you can still get it for cover on eBay or whatever.
Yeah. I saw this in the news today. The Van Gogh Museum has scrapped its Pokemon card giveaway due to unmanageable crowds. I think there was like a video online of like just a stampede of people just going nuts over that damn Van Gogh card, man.
Those guys are losers,
dude.
Like go outside and go get laid.
I mean,
freaking losers.
Yeah.
Like get a girlfriend.
It's too bad, man. I mean, it's pretty cool stuff, man. I mean, the merchandise is tight. I think it was a thoughtful collaboration. I think if Pokemon did like a collab with like a high-end designer like Chanel or like Givenchy or something like that, it'd be tight.
People would kill themselves.
What?
People would unalive themselves right in front of the Chanel store.
I know, for real. I might be there. I'll be honest. I might be one of them.
What the fuck?
So, but yeah, man. What you call it? I guess we'll. I wanted to also show this today. So you're talking about some we were talking about some comic books that we read a while back that you were sure they were getting optioned and like.
Yo, bro, we should do that. We should do a whole show on books that we thought we were gonna get optioned and didn't.
Man, I can't think of a lot that like I actually thought to myself, oh, this will get optioned.
I did.
Man, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of details. But this show came out. I actually watched the first episode of Bodies on.
I never even heard of it
on Netflix. But this book was like $25 raw at one point when the news came out. So I looked it up. I looked up this book on just on a whim to see if the whole option game is still like here. It's not, man. 1 through 4 in this series is selling for like $19.99. I haven't heard a lot about the show itself, just based off of like other people.
I've never even heard of this book.
Yeah, I remember hearing about it like a year or two ago, but like it's a cool show. But I think the comic community is like the option game, unless it's like a very well just timed or like followed franchise. These one-off option comic books, I just don't see it for right now, man. I just don't see it personally.
I mean, independent books in general, like.
Well, it's a DC book.
Yeah, but I mean, like in general, like that indie, like kind of like non-cape from indie writers, I will say. Indie writers who join DC and join some of the big ones and do their own series. They branch off into like Black Label or something like that. Yeah. In general, like I feel like those kinds of books are like just meh these days. I guess the pandemic, everybody was trying to flip some shit,
I mean, it was just weird. Like anything that had option news or like anything, like freaking Vampire or Bremst, or was it? What was that one show that came on HBO? Vampire, Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah.
People were buying Interview the Vampire comic book. Like.
I mean, if you go on, what the hell, bro? If you go on a certain like website, I'm not gonna say it, but or in a certain app, people were pumping that. The number one by Innovation.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember. Yeah, there was stacks of those at our outlet for like $1.
I bought 6 of them for $0.25 each.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's a massive come up.
I flipped them for like $5. I gave away 2 of them. I didn't really
that's a massive come up.
I felt weird about it, but yeah, man. I mean, it's just like not just because something's optioned. I guess like people out there, the 5 we got in the chat right now, like it may not make money, you know. So kind of be careful out there, even if you're option news, unless you really like the book, you know. So
the only book I really feel like came from that whole like, oh, like let's option this because whatever, you know, like the indie stuff. The only one that it's Something's Killing the Children. If you're not Something's Killing the Children, don't even waste your time.
I mean, I haven't even heard anything about Something's Killing the Children in a while. I would say personally, I think The Last of Us was a great.
That was too. Cyberpunk is coming up in the game.
I like Cyberpunk. I don't mind that. A lot of people are talking good about Cyberpunk.
You know what it was? I was convinced that I got burned on that one. Like I was pissed that I bought 10 copies. Like you know, just to hold on to them, you know, like. And then this was during the pandemic when it came out, and I was like, damn, man, the game did really bad. Like. Yada yada yada. Like I spent this money, whatever. But it took a while. But you know, it has an anime. The Phantom Liberty is doing better. Phantom Liberty than the DLC. Like everybody's talking about that. It overshadowed Starfield. No one's talking about Starfield anymore. They're talking about Phantom Liberty. So I think that it's I feel like it's starting to pick back up, but what I wish happened was if the game had launched well, that book would have went through the roof, you know, because it was low print. It was a good read, and it was connected to the game. I don't know if you knew that, but if you played, so the anime, if you watch the anime, there's missions to do.
Right.
In the game, and if you read the comic book, there's missions to do based on the comic book series. So everything was like locked in, and I was like, man, that's pretty crazy. I've never seen anything like that before. So it had a lot going for it, but you know, that's picking up steam again. So buy that while it's low.
Yeah, I think it's like a good long-term investment because it's got another season coming up. The show was like amazing, all that. Everyone's
live action.
Yeah, it was good, man. Everyone's talking about Mark Millar's work. Yeah, I mean, like the show was cool, but they canceled it like a year afterwards. So
what show was that?
Oh gosh, it was. I asked him what the show was here. Let me
Jupiter's Legacy, right?
I mean, it was a cool show, but then they canceled it because it cost too much money to make. You know, so
they did an anime.
Man, I mean, I didn't even watch it. You know what I mean?
It was really good.
It was good.
Yeah,
but like you know what I mean? Like when you have, you know, when it actually comes to screen, and then the anxiety of like whether or not it's going to last another season, it's like, well, that long term kind of gain is over. So, anyway, enough comic book talk. Let's get into some Pokemon stuff, man. Give me 1 second, and you guys could like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. But yeah, let's get into the show for a little Friday night action. Apparently, Fedora's his title piece is "Don't Get Ripped Off." So we are trying to protect y'all from not getting ripped off. Okay, so his work in general is pretty good. Yeah, Nemesis is a great read. I guess it's just like I'm talking specifically about like properties that are not the big two get optioned. Does it value like? Is there any more interest in the comic book itself? I just don't see it lately, albeit from like a couple other. I mean, the only one I can really think of is Last of Us, and that's it. That was almost like a worldwide phenomenon with that book. So, but yeah, man, I've been getting into these Pokemon 151 pack rips. I've been trying to get the Charizard from Obsidian Flames. Ha ha ha. Been doing some short videos on that. I don't know if you saw all my short videos, dude, but like at the last card, if I don't get the card, I rip the last card up. Have you seen it?
No, but that's hilarious. I've seen the first few ones. I try to like all of them as much as possible.
I appreciate you.
To boost the algorithm, but
yeah, dude,
that is funny.
The last two, I just ripped up the last card, dude. I didn't get that many views though. I was a little surprised, but yeah, man. So these are a little bit. I mean, you did these slides a while back, but have you looked at the prices for these Charizard Pokemon 151s lately?
Yes, I have.
How they doing?
They're doing all right. I mean, it's more or less the same. I mean, I think the thing is that like there's so many sets dropping back to back that the attention can't be they can't keep value, because same thing that's happening with Yu-Gi-Oh, but that's like a discussion for like a different thing, because Yu-Gi-Oh is in like a more crazier situation where shops are refusing to like even buy them because they're not making any profit off the cards. But that's neither here nor there. Pokemon, yeah, I mean, I was really surprised at these prices, because the cards that everybody wanted in this set, they ended up making them into promos. And in the Japanese ones, there's like a harder pull rate, and the promos are actually cards you could get that are harder. So like the Mew that everybody was going crazy for ended up becoming a promo in the American version.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so like the cards that everybody wanted from the Japanese set became a promo in the English set, which left the Charizard to be desired. And it was like meh. It was kind of like lackluster with the Charizard cards, because how many Charizard cards can you print? You know what I'm saying? Like you come up with new ones all the time. So I mean, I guess it reflects with the price here. It may be a little higher. I mean, I'm not too sure, but with the whole everybody trying to get that like Pikachu card, I would imagine like nobody's really paying attention to the Charizard. So like if you love Charizard, you're a Charizard completionist. You don't even have to like buy an entire box. You can just outright buy it for under the cost of a booster box. So that might be a better play in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, is the 151 American set, is it as desired because the original one was Japanese, or is it kind of the reverse, like everyone wants a Japanese set?
Everybody wants the Japanese to like, it's just, I mean, I've been having debates about this like all the time. It's like everybody's kind of like suka la meek on the Japanese market, and I'm just like, guys, like chill out. Like you guys are overvaluing the Japanese cards. Like for what? Like people are just like, oh, you know, the Japanese cards have better quality. They're harder to pull. And I'm like, yeah, but we knew that like for 20, 30 years now. Like we knew this. Like not 30 years, but we knew it for like at least a decade and then some. Like we knew this. This is not a new phenomenon.
Right.
But this is kind of like a post-pandemic thing where there's a lot of people coming into the hobby. You know, they don't know any better. They go on YouTube and then they listen to like these PokeTubers that are just like, yeah, man, the Japanese market is the way to go. And then they, you know, and these guys are like unloading their, you know, Japanese secret rares, their rares, or their quote unquote high value cards onto the market, because you know they're not really traditionally, like you can get a booster box for like $60 to $40, and then you know before the pandemic, so this is not even that long ago. So now post pandemic, people are charging $200 for like that doesn't make sense, and that's not normal. You know what I'm saying? Like you're charging like, I don't even know what the math is on that, like 150% of the value of a Japanese booster box. Like, and then the packs were like $20 a pop, $15 to $20 a pop. And it's like, bro, like, you know, like it's hard not to like see the market manipulation. Yeah. But, you know, people were arguing with me about one card in particular, and if you go to the next slide, we'll see. So this card right here. So as you can see, It's gotten lower, a little bit lower.
Yeah.
Since. But interestingly, it's like, and this is how you know the market makes no sense and people are manipulating it. So this is like a $60 average, 80 average sale. Let's just use what we have right now.
Sure.
PSA 10 for that card is $600, right? So here's where it makes no sense. The Japanese card, this card raw, goes for around 200 to 250.
Wow.
Ungraded. And that now here's where it makes no sense. PSA 10 of Ruler of the Black Flame Charizard, which is the Japanese name. You want to know how much is it?
Like a brick? I don't know.
No, $300.
What the hell?
So it's like and this is the thing. You know, and you know, people are like, we're pumping the Japanese version in particular. Yeah. And then some dude was like, yo, I got one for $300. And I replied to the guy, like sold of the card in PSA 10 going for less than 300. And then he was like, oh, well, on TCG app. And I'm like, I don't care what TCG app says, bro. Yeah. I don't care what your version of Key Collector says. Yeah. Right now, I had to hit him with the Fat Joe. Yesterday's price is not today's price. So like let's say even, right? Let's say even if he sold it for $250, right? You send it, I buy it for $250. I pay the $40 to get it graded. It comes back at a PSA 9. I lost money. It comes back at a PSA 10. I barely break even. Yeah. Depending on the day.
Sure.
I might lose money. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I mean with the Japanese market is you got to be careful because there's a lot of people on YouTube just trying to unload their stuff onto people. It doesn't make any sense. How is it a card that's $200 and something raw being sold for $40 more in PSA 10 and the English version, which is like $50, $60, going for double the card that everybody wants in PSA 10. Now, you could probably make the argument, well, the English cards are less desirable. It's hard to get a PSA 10. You know, the way that they make the cards, yada, 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 whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's harder to get PSA 10. So for people to sit here and say some wonky stuff like, oh, you should invest in Japanese because that's where the market is at. Well, that's not where the market is at because the English PSA 10 sells for more. And now, granted, it's not the same for every card. And I'm not trying to say that like English is like the most dominant because there's some Japanese cards that will always be valued more than English. And there's some English cards that'll be more valued than others. But there's just too many people just who don't know what they're talking about, telling people what to do. Oh, invest in like, bro, it's sometimes I'm like, what are you trying to say? Like the quality of a card does not determine how, how it affects the market. Just like, we see it in comics all the time. This guy 101, he could talk about how great the book is and how, how he sees the potential of it being optioned. But if the market is not buying that, then you know what I mean? So I don't know. But
so is
like spiel.
Collectible. No, it's all good, man. That's why we have you here. Real quick before I was gonna kind of have my rebuttal. Is there Chinese Pokemon cards? I don't think so.
There is.
That right?
There is. There's Korean. I mean, are there? I know that there's like vintage Chinese cards from 151, not from the original 151, the base set. Yeah. And I know that there's Korean. There's like a Korean booster. I know that there's like a Korean card because a friend of mine, she has the Umbreon and she has one in Korean. I think she has one in French and something else. Some other. She was like trying to get all the like she's crazy about that card. So she was trying to collect it in all the languages for whatever the reason. But
well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know, like, you know, the main reason we do these shows, you know, I think a lot of times we're a little pessimistic or, you know, whatnot, but I think that's just the state of like things, right? Like, you know, I work in finance. If you guys need a loan, if you guys need a home loan in Hawaii, Washington, Alaska, California, Oregon, hit me up. Arizona, I'll help you out. But
I need $100,000 loan.
I can't do loans in New York, homie. Sorry.
Yo.
I know. I'm sorry. You guys are too crazy for me. Yeah. So, you know, there's regulations in like financial markets, right? But specifically in collectibles, you know, it's really hard to really know what, you know, who to trust, quote unquote.
Don't trust anybody. DTA.
I guess just trust, you know, I would say like, you know, a lot of times we're wrong, you know?
Yeah. Don't even trust me.
Yeah. But you just kind of have to collectively just look at the data in general and then, you know, just go from there, I guess. But, you know, I know like collectibles are a different thing, right? Like our homie Pickles, who's working right now. And no, Jason, I will not give you a loan. You suck. Just kidding. Hit me up later. Anyway, you know, he has his favorite people and whatnot. And, you know, this isn't a slam to whatnot. I used to sell whatnot all the time. I just don't prefer it because the marketplace just seems to me, it's like you're not really buying the product so much. You're buying the person for whatever reason. People are just getting into that. I personally don't understand it, you know? It's just my type of thing, but you know, some people pay an extra 25% just to interact.
Listen. If you spending $1,200 on whatnot for first appearance of Tosin, that's when I know that I don't need no. Yo, just forget it. Just because I'm gonna get fired up. And I don't want to get fired up right now.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. We're not gonna talk about Tosin anymore. You know what I mean? Everyone knows how we feel about Tosin, but you know, back to just like, you know, Pokemon cards in general. I think eBay's is still the one, you know, like if you are buying this card on Whatnot with a follower, with a, you know, with a seller that has like 60 people, you're probably not going to pay $85 for it. You're probably going to pay 180 or 100, even like $90, right? It's stupid to pay because you obviously can find it on eBay. And there was a time when eBay was actually, you know, higher than Whatnot, and then that kind of flipped, and now it's back to eBay's, you know, a lot cheaper than, you know, Whatnot or whomever, right? You don't have as big of a, you can't really manipulate the price of stuff by selling it, you know, all that stuff. But anyway, just kind of a rebuttal there to kind of parlay on top of what you're saying. Like it's the manipulation in cards. There's no policing of it other than the community, right? So, you know, we have to protect each other, all that good stuff, and just be smart about, you know, and ask questions, man. I mean, like, I think a lot of people don't ask enough questions of like, why is that Pokemon in English go for more than a Japanese card? Oh, it's because I think the preference of supply and demand is there's more people that think the art is better on an English card versus a Japanese one, or I can't read that. I'd rather be able to read what I'm buying. And there's just more buyers in the American market versus the Japanese market, you know, that kind of thing. So, oh, talk about this Van Gogh. What up, Kayla?
This is crazy. It reminds me of that episode of The Simpsons with where Lisa was like, oh, right, she was coming up with a Barbie, their version of Barbie. Yeah. And it was getting a lot of traction. And then they were like, and then their version of the Barbie company was like, yo, we're gonna clap back at them. We're gonna make the best version of Barbie ever. And then it's just a Barbie with a new hat. That's it. It was just a regular, straight up Barbie with a new hat. And even in the episode, Lisa was like, yo, you guys are getting ripped off. This is the same product, but she just has a new hat.
Yeah.
And then they were like, yeah, we want the hat.
Mm-hmm.
And then they all bought it.
Yeah.
Simpsons predicts the future.
So, dude, tell me, like, why did this card come about? Like, what was the whole collaboration with Van Gogh?
I mean, I guess like they do like a lot of collaborations all the time. Recently, they've been doing like a lot of collaborations with like museums and things like that, and like artists, modern artists. Yeah. I heard they did one with like some museum. I don't know, but it looked ugly. It wasn't a card, but it was like they did like pieces of like Pokemon and sculptures, and I think they made T-shirts out of it. It was like some weird famous artist. And then they, you know, like they're doing collaborations. They do collaborations with McDonald's, you know. So, and I know that they've definitely homaged a lot of Van Gogh's work before. What's that? That's Vincent Van Gogh, the one where they got like the and they're like, oh, and then it looks all crazy.
Yeah. I don't know the name of it, but yeah, you're right. What happened? Did you freeze on me, dog? I think he froze on me. Or did I freeze on everybody? Let's see. Oh, yeah, your signal's a little bad off. It's a little off, bro. It's still off. Yeah, you're like, sounds like you're in that tower where the vampires live. Hello? You got technical difficulties, homies. Subway? Yeah. Pickle says Subway. You in a Subway or something, dog? Oh, he's okay. I can't hear you, dude. I still can't hear you, man. Oh, okay. I think I can kind of hear you.
Okay. Yep. I'm back.
Okay,
all right.
You're good.
So, like I was saying, no. I think that that was the one, the mosaic one, the one where they're screaming in like the Hall of Illusions or something like that.
Yeah.
That's Vincent Van Gogh, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so they've done Van Gogh cards with Psyduck, Pikachu, and a few other ones before. But those were a lot easier to get. But this one, I guess it was just to promote the shop. Like they've done Van Gogh collaborations before. And they were like, I guess, you know, they wanted to bring people into the new Van Gogh museum. And then I guess it turned into a shit show, quite literally. Like it was like, I just, like, why they gotta make my people look bad? You know what I'm saying? Like it was disgusting. Like imagine going to take your kid, like, hey, let's go to this museum, let's get this card. And then, you know, like you show up and
chaos.
Yeah, it's chaos.
Yeah.
I'm not even lying. I think that was just Leonardo DiCaprio that walked by. I'm not even lying.
Do you go run after him, ask him, is he gonna be in that new ICU movie?
Yo, I swear to God, because this is like the rich area of Manhattan.
Oh, you mean Meatpacking District?
Nah, but like this is like an apartment building.
Yeah.
So
what do you do down there?
Just walking down the street.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dude, what if he showed up on our podcast just like, hey, what up?
That would have been that would have been good. But I'm almost positive that was him, like walking up to one of those like to like the residential areas where like you need to be like a bajillionaire. So like
was he with some like skinny model looking chick or just
nah, he was just by himself. I listen, I could be wrong, but it definitely looked like.
Hey, I believe it. I believe you, dude. I believe it. It's New York City, so
like, that's crazy. He made a cameo in one of our podcasts. He made a cameo
on our podcast, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't a first full appearance. It was just a cameo.
Say that again.
I said it wasn't a first full. It was just a cameo. You know.
Yeah. It was a cameo, and then when he makes a first appearance, the third podcast is going to be the first full. So it's going to be the first appearance, then the first full.
And then we'll make an NFT out of it and sell it
exactly
to people. Yeah.
And that's, my friends, is how you flip books. Disclaimer, I do not sell or flip books. But anyways, They make our people look bad, man. Like, imagine, you know, I took Mini Kong there, even though she doesn't care about Pokemon. You know, like, it's just, it's sad. It's sad that we can't have nice things.
Yeah.
Because, you know, people ruin it.
Yeah.
All right. So at the time, because there's been many developments, but at the time, high raw went for 300, average 200, average is 220 to 250. And, you know, I was going to say chill out. You know, Pokemon is going to do a drop. And, you know, you should definitely like not, you should definitely like not buy that right now. And then as of 9/29, it was $70 because Pokemon Center was like, yo, we're dropping some heat.
Yeah.
Relax. And then we went on it and we were like, yeah. And the website crashed. But, you know, people were able to get some, and that's good for the market. Yeah. And then they announced that they weren't doing it anymore. And then the price shot back up. I saw a graded PSA 10 on Reddit. Somebody sold it for like 1,200, and then everybody in the Reddit was like, "Oh, I can't wait for this guy to come in and tell us if he did a good job." Because a lot of the people that make these sales, you know, these ridiculous sales that you see, a lot of these people. All right, give me 1 second.
You good? Yeah, I remember seeing like some other Discords and just some other, you know, areas where, or other areas I saw this in around kind of this time, and people had like 5 to 10 stacks of these freaking cards. And so I was very pessimistic about this, not trying to get in at all. You know, things are tight for everybody too. It's like, you know, it's just, I can't imagine spending $300 on this card.
I can't imagine spending 1,200 for a PSA 10. Like, so in the Pokemon investment groups that I'm in on Reddit, like, I would say 6 out of the 10 times big purchases like this happen, the person who bought it comes on to the and goes, "Hey, did I do a good job?" And then they flame him, like depending on like the. So this one was the one where people were really like, "Yo, we hope this guy comes in here so we could just rip him," and he never came in. But he probably just looked at the comments and was like, "All right, I'm not walking into that." Yeah. But that was it. Like, these are like crazy purchases, and you know, there's a lot of FOMO. We see it in our community all the time. We see it in comics where people want that first 9.8. You know, like they want to buy the first 9.8 on the market.
Yeah.
And then they get burned. But so what happened was that they took it out from the stores. But from what I understand and from what people were saying, now don't quote me. You might want to do some research on this because this is what people have been saying, and I haven't been able to confirm it because I had to work. But they were saying that because the market in Europe and the UK and the EU went up because Pokemon Center is not available to those people because I guess the shipping costs are too high to ship over there. Yeah. So, you know, they're not able to buy over there. So the price shot back up. And then that's when the flippers started to like, yes, because now it's not available to get in Europe. So the ones that are out there are the only ones that are going to be on the market. Granted, what I heard from multiple people, please do not quote me. Please don't say Fedora Kong said that this is it. This is what it is. But this is what I've heard. This is a rumor. Disclaimer. This is a rumor. Apparently the Pokemon company is looking into like other sources, other ways to distribute the card in that market. So they were looking into like possibly like other card shops to give the promos to, or like other outlets where people could get the card. Which is, in my opinion, now this is my opinion, that's likely gonna be the case because I don't think that, you know, the Pokemon company would like, you know, screw out the fans because they always try and like, you know, give back to the community and do what they can. And because at the end of the day, they understand that it's about the kids and that's what they want it for. And likely there's going to be another drop in America for these cards. And they're going to be giving these out until January, until 2024. So I really doubt that we're only going to get 2 drops. Like I really doubt that, you know, like it happens all the time. It happened with the special Pikachu, the special delivery Pikachu. It happened with the first Van Gogh promo cards. Yeah, I mean, look, it's 780. Like you gotta be like you gotta be a mook to fucking to pay for that. I'm like 780 for a freaking. Are you kidding? That's not even the best card, in my opinion. The best promo card is the Pikachu stamp that they did in Japan. That's the best. That's the best looking promo, in my opinion. And honestly, that's the one everybody should buy. And you could say I said that, signed, sealed, delivered. You could say I said that because that one is a nice looking card to own. But yeah, just give it a year, 6 months to a year, just like we do in comics. You know, what the hell?
Just like we do in comics, man.
Just like we do in comics. We know we're seasoned. We're willing to wait out another year just to get the card, but nobody cares about it anymore. Yeah. How many promos are they gonna do from now until whatever? They got so many promos lined up. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, what is this undercover cop doing, bro? It's not obnoxious. You're trying to make people cross a red, you freaking mook. But yeah.
Man, these skateboards, man, I mean, like, regardless of like the price on these guys, like, I thought they were cool, but talk about them.
Well, you know, first thing, you know, Mini Kong is a skater. My kid, she's a skater. So I asked her, I was like, yo, you want one? And then she was like, can I skate it? And I was like, are you stupid? And she was like, no, like she's like, I'll buy it if I can skate it. And I was like, okay, well, it's $120. And then she's like, whatever, no. And then that was it. So if like, that's usually how I like test, you know, the market, especially with skateboards.
Yeah.
If Mini Kong, like, she just doesn't care, then that's probably when I go, this is probably not worth getting, because she's the demographic. She's like the market. She's like, if her hardcore skater friends aren't interested in this, then I don't really see this being like, I don't really see, you know, like that was just for like weird Pokemon fans who wanted to hang shit on their wall.
Like
but
this?
What is that? What is that?
There's a lot of money out there.
What the fuck is that? What kind of a fucking mook you gotta fucking be to spend $11,000? How many bids was on that? 64 bids?
64 bids.
I don't know, man. That looks sus. This whole thing. Like, even if I had fuck you money, I would never spend it on a fucking $10,000 skateboard.
And this is what's gonna happen. I think the thought process is like, oh, this is never gonna happen again. Like, this is like a one-time thing. Like, it's not gonna happen.
It's a one-time thing.
This thing was so damn successful, man.
They'd be dumb not to do it again.
Yeah, it's an easy sell, right? And like, they're gonna do more. I bet you they'll do like a Dragon Ball Z. You know,
they're primitive. We've seen Sailor Moon. We've seen Dragon Ball. We've seen a bunch of things. Santa Cruz does some like really, really good collaborations.
Yeah.
And they go like the Ninja Turtles collab they did goes for pretty good money on the secondary market. So I gotta know. Like, I'm not too into the whole community of skateboards and reselling and how much those things go for.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other like Jeremy Klein boards that are like vintage that I rather buy for like thousands of dollars, way cheaper, for like a couple $100 that has better art. It's more, oh wow, like this looks nice. than a fucking Magikarp on your wall. Even though I have a tattoo of Magikarp,
yeah,
I ain't spending
that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
for a skateboard. I mean, for a new collectible that, I mean, if they drop another series like of these, it's gonna, in my opinion, I think it would devalue these a little bit, you know. But who knows? I don't know. 11,000 though out the gate though a month ago. That's nuts. That's nuts.
I know only 50 of the gold ones were made, and that was like the selling point. Like, oh, it's only 50. Oh, but it's like, bro, like at the end of the day, like if this is a niche market, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like Pokemon fans are fucking lined up around the block for these, like, you know. And but also what I was hearing was that, you know, a lot of skate shops weren't getting a lot of them. Like I know Zoomies have maybe, shout outs to the homies that work in Zoomies. They got maybe like 10 of them, and the people who worked there bought them before anybody else did. So they didn't even get to see them, you know? So, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's a really tough, like, I don't know anything about skateboards. I do know about Pokemon, but this is like a weird hybrid market. This is like uncharted territories for everyone. Yeah. So, but like that price is not going to hold ever. I don't care who you are. Like, it's just, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool when it, you know, like I already feel like this thrill is gone from these skateboards anyway. So like you heard about them and then no one's really talking about them anymore. And I think that's like something else to like kind of think about, in regards to like Pokemon stuff. Or just
I see people selling them for like 100, 250. You know, like the price is coming down on them because people are trying to get like crazy prices for them. Like, look at this. Look at this.
Missed the window.
$5,200, $3,500. Like that's
and you don't even know if you get, is that, oh, that's for the Pikachu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's just wild.
Yeah.
That's wild to me.
It's like you could get, you know, this, or I mean, you could get like a Charizard holofoil PSA something, right? I don't know.
You could probably get like the Neo Destiny Shining Charizard PSA 10 for around that, like, which will hold a lot more value. Fuck, you can get the first appearance of the X-Men for that low grade.
Yeah.
Like what are we doing? Like it's I don't understand.
Aguilar has a question for you, man.
Are the Japanese promo or any Pokemon promo card limited? They're just printed to demand, right? So, I mean, the promo cards that they do for like events. Yeah, I mean, I would say that they're limited, but it just depends because they do print like a fuck ton of them. And then like they see where the demand is, and then they take it from there. So see, look at this. Now go back to the to the skateboard, right? Like people were paying more for a skateboard,
That just came out too.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. So why does this go for 8,500?
It's a low print Japanese promo. Like, it was like a 1 of 1,000 PSA 10. Like,
so how could you get it?
Oh, I don't really. They didn't really say how you could get it. But,
that's all good. I was just curious, like, because that's the confusing thing for me is like in Pokemon, like I just know the sets, right? And like you know so much about like just like specifically rare ones that like you can't buy in sets. And so
no.
It's really it's cool that we do these, you know, shows because like I learn a lot from them and all that, but
you know, I'm just so really strapped. I'm just really strapped for time. So like I don't really like these days I don't really have, you know, I can't really look into it.
No, it's all good.
But yeah, like it's Lugia Shiny Presents. You know, like it's a pretty rare card from what I know. You know, and having it in PSA 10 is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, so like that's another good one.
That's crazy, man. Fines. Uh-oh, what happened? I think that's it. I think that's our last slide for the night, man. I can't hear you, dog. You're
technical difficulties. My mic.
Technical difficulties.
My mic staticed out.
It's all good. Man, that was a fun little show. Little quick hour show for Friday night before everyone has dinner, all that good stuff, man. Before I let everybody go, just wanted to show everyone kind of the plans for this weekend. I'll be on with my good friend Matrix Comics. He's gonna join me again this week.
He's famous now,
dude. We had a fun time last time he was on, so I gotta make. It's gonna be on the regular time on Sunday at around 10 o'clock. He put out some new. Holy shit! He put out some new comic books on everyone's favorite app.
Key Collector.
No, Key Collector. But no, I mean, respect to all his knowledge about like horror books. He's gonna go through some stuff over on Sunday, and I invited him on. So, Fedora, you'll be on. I hope, and I don't know if Pickles is in the chat, but hopefully we see Pickles as well. But that'll be on Sunday at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific time. Hopefully we'll get some more people in the chat. But I do appreciate everyone coming through today. Just a quick little show for the Friday. What's that?
I said my umbrella broke.
Oh shit, man. That's one of the most annoying things about living in Seattle is your umbrella breaking, man.
That's what happens when you buy cheap umbrellas, man.
Yeah, just put your hood on, dog, and just keep walking.
Yeah, it's raining a bit, so.
Yeah. I understand. All right, well, if y'all could like, subscribe, play this on the rewind. We got some good likes today, so I appreciate everyone's support. We'll see you on Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 o'clock, Fedora's time.
Yes. I'll be outside. I got errands to run, but
cool.
Next week there'll be more content since I got like 2 days off. I could take one day to keep building the content. And before we leave, yo, pull up the Pokemon Pikachu stamp promo to let everybody know.
Pikachu.
Yeah. Let everybody see this card. I've spoke about it before a while ago, but I just want everybody to see why I'm like so high on this card. I like the card.
Is it just come out or is it fairly old?
Nah, it's pretty old. It's pretty old.
This one?
There you go. That's the card right there. That's the card. Look at that art.
It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It looks a lot better. It looks a lot better than the Van Gogh Pikachu.
It does, man. I dig that. Is it only a year old?
Yeah, it's about only a year old, and it's still holding. It's still holding up. It's like
and
PSA 10 is like
600 and PSA 10 the last one. This is kind of a cool website, price charting. They follow me on Instagram and stuff. So
yeah. So if you look at like this card, the Pikachu Van Gogh already dropped to like half. Somebody paid $1,000, for it, and it already dropped down to like 700 or some shit like that. So. A year later, and the Pokemon Pikachu stamp promo is still holding at 600. And it's got great art. So that's the one I suggest.
Cool.
But anyways, thanks everybody for popping up.
We'll see you Sunday, right, Fedora?
Yes, Sunday. All
right,
and
Sunday.
I have to get new headphones now.
All right, man. All right, bro. Well, stay dry. I'm out of here. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you on Sunday. I will do a giveaway on Sunday for sure.
Yo, we'll see everybody.
We'll see everybody there. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you on Sunday.